In another major story tonight, the president met with commanders at the Pentagon on the war against the Islamic terrorist group known as ISIS. U.S. airstrikes pounded ISIS targets today, but the Syrian town of Kobani may still fall to the extremists. On this story tonight, we have something rare. Clarissa Ward slipped into Syria to interview an American militant. You're not going to like a lot of what you're about to hear, but Clarissa's report is a window on the thinking of the few Americans who've joined the terrorists.
When I was living in America, I was just a normal kid, like sports and whatnot, growing up, watching movies and these things, so just like any other American.
But Ibn Zubayr, as he calls himself, is not just any American. For the past 2 years, he's been fighting for Jabhat al-Nusra, a rebel group that has sworn allegiance to al-Qaeda. He insisted we change his voice to conceal his identity.
I don't hate America, that's my home, that's where I grew up, but the government and their policies as far as the Muslim lands, then that's another story.
The Somali American had dropped out of college to study Islam in the Middle East. He told us he was moved by the plight of the Syrian people under attack by their own government. So he decided to join the fight. Now he feels that he is under attack from his government. Zubayr told us he narrowly escaped death when his house was hit during recent U.S. airstrikes in Syria. The U.S. has claimed that the strikes targeted terrorists plotting an attack on the West.
The people they killed, they died in there. It was close friends of mine that I slept in the same room with, ate food with.
Could you honestly say that nobody who was in that house had the intention of attacking the West?
The better question is, can you tell me honestly that these hits won't create people that would want to come and hit America?
That's the big fear in Washington. There are more than a dozen U.S. citizens fighting inside Syria. Another American gained notoriety when he became a suicide bomber for Nusra. The question is, what happens when these battle-hardened fighters come home?
There is no threat from us if we don't get hit.
That sounds a lot like something Osama bin Laden once said.
It's the case. We look up to the Sheikh.
You look up to bin Laden?
Of course.
You can understand that that's really hard for Americans to hear.
Why?
Because of 9/11.
We have 9/11s every single day in the Muslim lands.
That narrative that the U.S. is waging a war on Islam is growing across the Muslim world.
Would you support a terrorist attack on the United States?
I wouldn't consider it a terrorist attack. If anything happened there, I would consider it a reaction to this action.
Even if innocent women and children were killed?
What I consider a terrorist attack is these tomahawk bombs being shot from wherever they're being shot from and killing innocent people. So I wouldn't, there's no tears being shed from me if something happened in America.
Would you ever participate in such an attack?
No.
You hesitated. Why? Be honest.
Because I can't. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to.
The view of one American who has joined a terrorist group. Clarissa Ward is in London for us tonight. Clarissa, he says he can't return to America. What does he mean by that?
That's right, Scott. He says that the American government already knows that he is fighting in Syria, that they've even been to see his family in the Midwest. And so he says that he's not able to travel anywhere with his American passport.
Intrepid reporting. Clarissa Ward in London. Thank you, Clarissa.